director of Hult Prize at Zetech University. But before we dive into the exciting world of Hult Prize, let me express my heartfelt gratitude for your presence and your enthusiasm to embark on this journey with us. I'd also like to acknowledge the remarkable efforts of Isaac Muendo, the student chair of the Zuri Club, who has unwavered commitment has made this webinar possible for all of us to join it. Well, we move to the first slide, the agenda of the meeting. And the first topic we'll be talking about what is the Hult Prize. Before that, I want to take you back to the history of Hult Prize. The Hult Prize was named after the Bertil Hult, a Swedish billionaire and entrepreneur who was it was established in 2009. It began as a simple idea to harness the power of the youth and entrepreneurship to address some of the world's most pressing challenges. Over the years, it has grown into the world's largest student competition for social impact, and the past winners have taken on issues like poverty, healthcare, and climate change. Their success stories stand as a testament to the power of youth and the impact it can have on our global society. Now let's sail on the journey to understand what's Hult Prize. It's more than a competition. It's a global movement that empowers students like you to tackle some of the world's most pressing challenges. Past winners have shown that youth-led innovation can create a real impact to our society. The second agenda was why should some of us join Hult Prize, and why is Hult Prize important to us? It's a question to everyone you may be having to ask, and I have the answers that to some of your questions. Hult Prize is significant because it's not just a competition; it's an opportunity to join a movement that shapes the world. With a presence in over 121 countries, they have joined. They're competing. Students are coming up with ideas in relation to the theme that is provided by Hult Prize. And it's an opportunity for personal growth and development, a chance to refine your leadership skills, and a venue to connect with like-minded individuals. That is networking. This year's theme it's not that limited as the other year's theme, because we are given the chance to take one of the SDGs. The idea should be developed in relation to the SDGs, which Isaac Muendo will be talking about later. Let me talk about the eligibility criteria that will enable us to join. That can make us, that qualifies one to take part in the competition. Before you take part in the competition, you should you must be currently a student enrolled in degree seeking program, whether you are pursuing bachelor's, master's, or any other degree. As long as you are a student, you are eligible to be part of this incredible journey. And two, teams must consist of 3 to 5 members, or you can decide to take it part as you alone, but it's good if we take part as a group, because it's believed there is power in collaboration, and forming a device team with complementary skills can lead to even more innovative solutions. And 3, to participate, you must be at least 18 years of age, or more than 18 years, but still a student. And we are looking for passionate young minds eager to make a difference. These eligible criteria are designed to ensure that the Hult Prize is accessible to a wide range of students who have shared a common goal to create positive, sustainable change. So if you meet these criteria, you are free to take part in the competition, and please will accept your idea. And if you are not in this age bracket, you can take part in guiding those who are willing to take part in the competition. Allow me to talk of the steps in the competition.
Before that, we should probably discuss about this year's theme and what is really expected of us. Then we can be able to go to the various stages of the competition, because there are certain stages of the competition that will require students to participate in university-led competitions and events. So I hope that's okay, Timothy.
Okay, no problem, Isaac. Today's,
Okay.
I mean, this year's theme, unlike the frequent years theme, is quite different from other years. Other years, like last year, they were given the theme to come up with the idea in relation to version and design. But this year, it's open. Anyone can come up with the idea in one of the SDGs, and yeah, one of the SDGs. And I think this one has made it easy for us because you see it's not that limited. The steps in the competition, you can create a team of 3 members who will be participating. Then you register for the competition into the competition details, which Isaac, I know you'll guide them, you'll tell them how they'll come up to read the form. And this will be followed by pitching your idea to convince esteemed judges that will be organized in the university. And the successful teams will advance to regional rounds competition on a large scale, which will be told next year after February. But before February 29th, we are supposed to come up with the teams and organize on how to get the able teams that will take part in the competition. Winners of the regional rounds will progress to the Hult Prize accelerators, where they receive mentorship and support to scale their projects. The journey culminates in their global finals, where teams present their solutions on a truly global stage. If only we win this prize, we are the one who will be given the prize, which is 1 million USDs. Yeah. I want to encourage each one of you to take this opportunity. It's a serious one, and it's good, and it will give us the opportunities, mentorship. Even if we won't win, we'll be moving and get networks and get to know how innovations and startups work in this ecosystem. Yeah. Now allow me to
Yes. We can talk about this year's theme, and we're going to go through all the 17 SDGs that are there. As you're aware, the Sustainable Development Goals were developed by the United Nations back in 2015, and they aim to address a number of global challenges that are present in our world today. And I'm sure that some of us may have come across these SDGs before and have been able maybe to know a few things about them. But in light of this competition, the important things that you need to understand. So unlike other competitions, Hult Prize focuses on social enterprises. And what that essentially means is that um, all the all the innovations that you come up with or the startups that you come up with, they must have benefits towards the society around you, the people around your communities, um, whether within your current proximity or even back at home in your shags. As long as it's able to make an impact in their lives, it does qualify to be a social enterprise. And then this relates to some of the SDGs that we have. So for SDG number 1, it's supposed to tackle poverty. It's one of the most greatest challenges that we've had, not just here within the African region, but we've had this all across the globe. It's a problem that has no end, if I could put it in such a way. But there are definitely new ideas that are coming up. And so if you are working towards eliminating poverty, you could come up with an idea that that basically talks about how people can manage their finances and how they can be able to acquire small loans and progress um, to set up businesses or even educate their children or even get them scholarships to study. Because one of the key aspects of eliminating poverty, you have to provide awareness about various ways to bridge those gaps in their financial management. And then we have the second SDG, which talks about eliminating hunger. And food nutrition and food security is a really big problem today. There are certain places around the world where people are not as privileged as we are. And some of us who are in this meeting today might have been able to eat breakfast today in the morning, even lunch, or maybe a break in the middle. But there are many of us outside who don't have access to meals. Maybe they're able to access one meal once in a really long time, and so this is a problem that you can think of solving, maybe by setting up small scale farms, maybe gardens within the community around you. Maybe in your house you can grow like maybe sukuma wiki or some tomatoes, because tomatoes are really easy to grow in a garden. And then you can be able to teach those people around you how to set up these gardens, all that. And you can be able to go to places like Turkana, where they usually suffer that challenge of not being able to access food when it's during the dry seasons. And you can try to come up with an idea to build or to create certain farm products that can withstand those climatic conditions. And then we have good health and well-being. This is something that has been emphasized a lot. Recently, we've been having conversations about mental health and having telemedicine practiced within communities, so you can be able to access medical advice even at the comfort of your home. So you don't have to start going out looking for a clinic if it's something that's not too critical. And if maybe you want to access things like medicine, there's a platform called Muendo here in Kenya, for example. They deliver medicines to your house. So you could come up with a service similar to that, you know, that can be able to provide accessible healthcare services to the people within your communities. Then we have quality education. This is also one of the key SDGs, and a lot of these SDGs do depend on quality of education. And here's why. If you are unable to give someone the knowledge on how to code uh, or to become an accountant, or basically they have no idea how to get started with a business and all that, how can you be able to eliminate poverty? You can't, because you don't know even where to begin. And that's why education is important, to educate those people around you who may not be able to access the resources that you have, like phones, where you're able to access the e-learning portal, can be able to join classes online these days, right? Even people who graduate from online classes, even PhD students, they usually do that. And if you're able to build an idea towards offering free educational content on an online platform, like a website, or through USSD, because in places that are remote, that don't have access to internet, one of the best platforms for them to use is the USSD. USSD is the one that M-Pesa uses on the phone, if you're not familiar with it. And I think there's a company that has already done that here in Kenya, but you can go and do more research if that is your area of interest. Then there is gender equality. And most of, actually this SDG is starting to branch out to be more of equality in both women and men, right? Because a lot of the times we've been seeing there's a lot of women empowerment going on, and a lot of women-driven initiatives, which is good, and you can come up with one. But for this goal to be fully discovered, it has to cut across all gender spaces. So you can come up with an idea of better ways to help women to access training resources and mentorship to start their businesses. And you can also do that the same thing for men as well, because we do have men who are still struggling to get jobs and opportunities to even expand themselves and even take care of their families. So you can come up with an idea that can be able to help them access these resources equally, because in some countries the rules are quite different. You know, in Kenya, women can run companies, men can run companies and all that, but in some countries that doesn't happen. It's in fact a taboo. But given the current changes in the mindsets of people and in the environment that we have right now, these countries are now starting to embrace equality within their administrations, in their governments, and even in businesses. So you can build an idea around empowering women or even men, depending on your preference. And then there's clean water and sanitation. Can set up a community water purification station, because in slums they are unable to get access to clean water. That's why when cholera outbreaks take place, they're the ones who are the highest victims of it, because they are not able to access these sanitation services. And you could think about an idea of how you can be able to make that accessible to them, like purification stations. That's a really good idea you can come up with. And by the way, we didn't mention this at the very beginning. Hult Prize is not just for tech-related innovations. So if your idea around these SDGs does not relate to tech or anything, you don't have to worry. Hult Prize, you can still participate. It's open to all sectors. So even if you don't have a solution that uses technology, mobile apps, and all that, just it's okay. You can still participate in these events. So yeah, you can have that project idea, or you can work on a water purification station, or you can even, yeah, you can think about an idea around that. And then affordable and clean energy. This is a topic that has been happening for a very long time. In fact, recently during the Africa Climate Summit, if some of you are following it up, you could see that there are a lot of companies selling solar panels and lamps as well. And also there are electric vehicles that are being demonstrated there. But you don't have to build something too complex. You can think of an idea of how you can be able to provide clean and accessible energy to those marginalized members in your community. So you can set up a small grid. Maybe you know someone who owns a car and they have a battery that they don't use anymore. You can probably borrow it and try to figure out a way to like set up a simple grid system. It doesn't have to be something big, as long as it's able to power someone's home. That's enough to solve that problem. And yeah, there are a number of ideas around this. I'm pretty sure some of you might have seen them or come across them. Even at Zetech during the innovation week, we had a number of these innovations there. So you can come up with an idea around that. And then there's decent work and economic growth. So for this, I can say that you being here, I guess you have a startup idea that you want to work on. So by pursuing that idea, by pursuing that project, you've already opened opportunities, people around you to work in your organization. Because during this competition, you'll be looking for team members, right? And the thing about Hult Prize is that it's not just a competition where after you win, they just let you go. It doesn't work like that. They follow up and they help you build your company from beginning to the end, right? That's the beauty of being in this competition in the first place. This is not like the Kenya Science and Engineering Fair where you just go pitch your idea and then it dies like that. No. They follow up and they would like to know the progress that you make. And also there'll be a session later where you'll be able to set up companies and register them here in Kenya and even abroad. And you're going to do that a lot. And I mean, if you're able to create opportunities through that project that you're creating, then you can be assured that this goal is already in your mind. You're already providing decent work and opportunities to the people around you, right? And then we have industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And you can probably come up with an idea, because right now the biggest challenge that we have is accessing, like, actually here in Kenya we have access to internet across multiple parts of the country, but the pricing is a bit off, it's a bit high. So maybe you can come up with a solution to provide much cheaper internet to the communities that are around you. Or you can even come up with a tech incubator that comes up with solutions to address challenges that are related to tech. So you can look at your community. It doesn't even have to be in your, you don't have to come up with such a big project. You can just come up with a solution that's tackling a problem within the university. So like that one for internet. It's a huge problem in the university. The internet isn't that good. So you can come up with a solution to probably solve that and make it cheap so that even students can be able to access it. And then reduced inequalities. Now, goal number 10 is very different from goal number 5. Goal number 5 is about gender equality, and goal number 10 is about reduced inequalities. Now, for this goal, there are certain things that it looks out for. So there are certain countries where a portion of the community is not able to access certain services or jobs and things like that, especially people who have special needs, right? There are some countries that do not have measures in place to embrace people with special needs within the workspace, right? And so you can come up with a solution that can be able to address that challenge, right? And you can try to figure out why these organizations are unable to take on that challenge to be inclusive, despite people's social status or their political preferences and all that. And you can be able to tackle this problem quite easily. And then we have sustainable cities and communities. And if you're someone who's interested in architecture and smart buildings and things like that, this goal is the goal for you, right? You can come up with an idea around building a smart city, whether you can be able to use the resources that are around you to reduce the impact of climate change in cities, and you can be able to come up with a solution of setting up housing, because housing is a really big problem, especially here in Kenya. Yes, there are houses, but if you've noticed, there's a lot of overcrowding here in the city, in Nairobi especially. So you can probably come up with an idea of how you can decongest these urban areas so that can be able to reduce things like traffic, you know, can be able to even ensure that the resources that are being given by the government are shared equally amongst all parts of the country. You know, because sometimes the government might choose to assign more funds to a particular county than the other, because they're getting more profit from one, and the other they're not getting anything much. So maybe you can come up with an idea of how you can diversify that ecosystem in cities, and see how you can be able to tie that in with other areas within, maybe in remote areas and things like that. Then there's responsible consumption and production. Um, Mostly this is about creating projects and ideas that are based on the circular economy. Now, a circular economy is important for a few reasons, and one of them being, in a circular economy, you don't have to spend a lot of time setting up infrastructure for recycling and overproduction of goods and things like that. You can set up a project, for example, how do I put this? I'm not sure if you've seen this, but there are companies where they stopped using plastic bottles to sell water, like Aquamist. Now they're starting to use glass bottles, because glass bottles are much easier to recycle, because you can just smelt them and turn them into new products. So you can come up with an idea around that, and you can be able to look into some of the principles of a circular economy. And circular economy applies to all innovations, regardless of whether it's tech related or anything related to journalism or media, in anything to do with energy, in the energy sector. So having a circular economy is important. And so you need to do more research on that and see how your projects can be able to achieve this goal. And then there's the climate action goal, goal number 13. And right now, our world is in a bit of a fix. The climate isn't that good. A lot of things are changing. We were supposed to be experiencing El Nino from earlier this month, but it seems that is not going to be the case. It seems something has flipped in our climate, and we need to build solutions towards helping us survive some of the impacts of climate change, because you cannot stop climate change. It's going to be there for many years to come, even now. So the only thing that we can do is try to reduce our impact on making, on speeding up that process. And we can also work towards building projects that can be able to help us as humanity to survive some of the effects of climate change going forward. Because I know there's a project here in Zetech that's dealing with carbon capture. One of the students, I think maybe you've seen him. His name is Kelvin Gitao. He's working on a project on smart carbon, you know. So maybe when you join us in in coming events and meetings, you'll be able to see some of the projects that are there around climate action. Then there's life below water. It's really important to conserve marine life. You can come up with a project that can be able to help us conserve some of the water bodies that are within our environment. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with Nairobi River. It isn't exactly the cleanest water body in the country, so maybe you can come up with a solution that could help clean up the rivers, remove plastic, and also prevent trash from going into rivers, because it's extremely dangerous to the marine life that may live within that water body. So you can come up with a solution on that, and you can be able to achieve this goal in terms of marine conservation. And the important thing is, by securing such areas, we're able to reduce, actually, the pollutants in our water bodies actually do contribute to climate change. So you may find that some of these goals, they kind of relate with one another. So you might find that by solving goal number 14, you are somehow addressing goal number 13, right? So they kind of interrelate. And that's how there are certain projects that even Timothy can talk about that solve more than one of these goals. You can have your project and it's solving like 5 or 10 of these goals. Then we have life on land, preserving the biodiversity here on land or within our environment. So you can be able to preserve and protect some of the endangered species. Can come up with a solution around how we can do that. Maybe you can come up with a registry for Kenya that shows that these are the endangered species within Kenya, and this is how we can be able to protect them. You know, and by having such a registry, we're able to know how many of them are still there, or how many have been extinct in the process. Because right now, white rhinos, I think the last white rhino died recently. I'm not sure, but it's one of the endangered species that we have. Um, but you can come up with a solution around this if you're interested in wildlife conservation. So yeah, you can see how you can do that. Then there's peace and justice. Currently, there's been a lot of conflicts and wars. Recently, the war between Israel and Palestine really kicked off, and it's really unfortunate that the civilians are the ones who have to bear that suffering of the damages that are being caused uh, by these two parties fighting each other. And so you can come up with a solution on ways to help people in conflict areas recover, especially children. Children really suffer a lot, right? Especially in terms of mental health. It can be degrading as a 5-year-old. The only thing that you've known since you're growing up is bombs dropping in your house. You're moving from one place to the next. All you hear it's just bombs. Sometimes they even use chemical weapons and things like that. So it's really a big problem that we have right now. And we can pray and hope this problem goes away, but it's not. It's here with us, and we have to come up with solutions towards helping shield those vulnerable people uh, who take place, who are affected by these conflicts. And we can be able to come up with proposals on promoting peace and reducing violence and injustice. So right now, the good thing is we have the internet. So during this war, these conflicts that are happening, you can be able to document them. You can be able to probably create an app or a forum where you are able to take videos or images or recordings of any kind that shows that a criminal injustice took place at this place and at this time. And you can forward that information to the International Criminal Court where they can be able to prosecute. Because right now, things are open. It's not like in the past where some of these crimes go unpunished. These days, war crimes are heavily penalized. So you can think about an idea of how you can build a project around this. And then there's partnerships for the goals. This is the final. This is the last goal of the SDGs. And you could come up with something.
Okay, just hold on.
A project on one of these SDGs.
AQ.
But then again, you might have someone else in another university who's tackling the same problem that you are. So you can work with them and see how you can solve that problem. Because as much as you are competing, this is an inter-university competition, and it's also a competition between different countries and different teams. So as much as you're competing, you can work with these people. You know, you may never know where the opportunities may come. Right? You can be able to work with other teams, and you can be able to address these goals together.
At 9:50.
Because
Yes.
in terms of research these days,
can send an email.
it's quite easy to get research data.
Yes.
Especially
Okay,
if
I'll do that.
that work has been
So
done
this
by
one is
someone else.
self-funded,
And
isn't
be
it?
able to partner with them and see how you can be able to build a solution around that
Oh.
research problem that you found. So yeah, those are some of the SDGs and some of the ideas that you can come up with around these SDGs.
Okay, just hold on.
And yeah, I'll hand over to Timothy, who can talk about the stages of the competition, and then we can now have our Q&A session. But in the meantime, you can ask questions in the chat so that when we reach the Q&A session, we can be able to tackle them. So Timothy, over to you.
There've been so many.
Thank you, Isaac, for that great presentation. Well, allow me talk about the stages of competition. First, the qualifiers. We have to know who are these students who are taking part, who are willing to take part in the competition. After knowing them, after you have registered your idea to the form that I think Isaac was to talk about the form, you register directly to Hult Prize. After registering directly to Hult Prize, you also register with us so that we get to know the number of students who are taking part in Hult Prize in Zetech University. After that, we'll be organizing meetings with the university that will be getting to hear your ideas. Then we'll judge the idea. Then before February 29th, that is next year. We need 5 teams from the university that will be taking part in the competition. Then after getting the 5 teams, we will be listening to their ideas so that we get to know the main team that will take part in regionals. The regional dates have not been announced, but will be told after the 29th February next year. Then after the regionals, we move to another level. After another level, then we move to global finals. Other steps will be told, stages will be told next year. After the currently we are working on with the on-campus programs that are taking inside the campus. Yeah. Thank you, Isaac. You can tell them how they'll be getting the form and how they'll be registering into this Hult Prize in the university. Isaac.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll be sharing the form. I want to share the form in just a few minutes. I'll share the link here on the chat. Basically, there are 2 registration forms.
Yeah.
The thing is, we want to make sure that the projects that you're doing, you're able to continue working on them. You're not just working on them alone. Because the university through IZET Hub is the innovation hub in our university that is helping students and even staff members who have ideas to be able to turn them into commercialized enterprises. No. So if you will have a form where you register for the general registration form for Zetech, where you'll be able to register your idea and your project, and you'll be required to provide an abstract. An abstract is basically just a small summary of your project. Doesn't have to be something complicated. You just state the problem that you're solving, how you're planning on solving it, the team members present in your project, and also the objectives of that project itself. And then that's it. That's the abstract that will be submitting. And then, yes, sorry, I'm seeing. Oh yeah, there's a few questions there.
I think the stage.
There's also a registration form for Hult Prize, which I think you are required to fill before the February of 29th, right?
Yeah, sure.
You're required to fill that form as well. But we'll be having a number of pitch events, and we'll be organizing that with time. And then, yeah, let's just try to, if you have a project, if you have something that you like to build, don't shy away, just come to IZET and reach out to us, because there are a number of competitions that are there. It's not just Hult Prize, but Hult Prize is a really good competition that if you take part in, it goes into your credit for school, because these things are recorded. So yeah, we can just get into the Q&A session. I can see Samuel has a question here, but before that, do you want to say something, Timothy?
I think the stages it starts with the individual teams, individual person who has an idea. Then he gathers the individual teams who he knows they are capable of taking part in the competition and who are willing. Then once you have come up with the team, you register the competition officially to Hult Prize. Even if you don't tell us, you just register to Hult Prize. After registering to Hult Prize, you have to tell us so that we get to know our students from Zetech University. You know, if you register without telling us, we cannot recognize whether you are of Zetech University or other universities. With your team in place, you'll delve in the competition details, brainstorm and refine your innovation solution. Then, as Isaac has said, we'll be organizing local pitches through preparation. Then you will be presenting now to the university with the team, the judges, and us. Then they'll determine whether your idea is good to move to another level. The successful teams from the local pitches will advance to the regional rounds. This is where the competition will expand and you will compete on large scale with other universities in Kenya. Then from there, we move to Hult Prize accelerators, and this is where you will receive mentorship and support to scale out your project. Then you'll be told to move to the next level, to the global finals. This is where the ultimate competition will be awarded. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Maybe you can tackle some of these questions because I'm trying to pull up the form so that I can share the link here. But maybe let me try to address one of them. I have a question here from Samuel. Does Hult Prize provide resources that cover the innovation from ideation to?
No, Hult Prize actually, I don't think whether it provides resources in the on-campus programs. The on-campus programs, we have been allowed to look for sponsors who will be sponsoring our activities that will be carrying in place in the university. That is buying of T-shirts, posters, and I think transport will be provided from regionals henceforth from regionals. Yeah, I think they'll be supporting us. But the on-campus activities will be looking for our sponsors. I'm advised to. I wanted you to advise me in the sponsors that who can help us get the funds and support us in every activity that we'll be carrying on in the campus. Yeah.
Okay.
The max. Yes.
Okay. So in terms of the resources, the reason why we we recommended that you register on through IZET and also through Hult is because once you register your project through IZET, you can be able to access the resources that the school is providing to students who have project ideas.
Yeah, I
So
think
even
even
in terms of sponsorship, there'll be external sponsorship programs that you'll be advised to sign up for. There's one for Microsoft, there's another one for AWS. So you'll be able to access those resources through the school at the very beginning, at the very start of the on-campus events. Then what is the maximum number of people in each team? 5. And also
3 to
something
5,
that I
yeah.
didn't mention. I think in one of the guidelines, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, you can only have one student from another university. Only one. You cannot have more than one student from a different university. Not understood her email. But maybe that's something that you can look into and do more research on, and we'll also update you on the same. But maximum is 5, minimum is 3. And apart from Kenya, Africa,
But kurudi,
some of the European countries involved. Actually, Hult Prize is open
so kurudi
to
hiyo jambo jet
all across the globe.
Safari Link.
So maybe
Hiyo
Timothy
Safari
can
Link nimempotea bank ndio
shed more
inalipa,
light
sivyo?
on that.
Which one?
Atarudi na hiyo.
The question on the countries involved in this competition.
I am aware of 121 countries that are taking part in this competition, but the stakeholders, maybe I ask my madam, there's this madam who knows the regional in Kenya. We have a guy who in Kenya who is guiding, telling us more about Hult Prize. That is Jolene Wangech, and I think it's Silas. Yeah. I'm not well concerned with the stakeholders. Maybe I do research and I'll ask. Then in the next meeting, I'll be checking through the question. The last question, I think Hult Prize, yes, the competition is similar to that of Google Developer Solution Challenge, but both competitions are designed to encourage students to develop innovative solutions to real-world problems. However, there are some key differences between the two competitions. The Hult Prize competition is specifically focused on social entrepreneurship. Students compete to develop business solutions to some of the world's most pressing social challenges, as Isaac said, such as the poverty, hunger, and climate change. The GDSC, on the other hand, is more open-ended. Students can compete to develop solutions for any type of problem, regardless of whether it is a social or technical. And another key difference between the two competitions is the prize money, the prize that we are being given after the winning team in Hult Prize. They are given 1 million USDs in seed funding, while the winning team of GDSC receives a similar cash prize. I don't know. Maybe Isaac, you can talk of more of this question. Isaac?
Yes, okay. Is someone allowed to register? I think you can apply to Hult Prize more than once. And you can come up with an idea almost similar to the ones that have been presented before, because even in the call to action video by the former president, actually the 42nd president of the US, Bill Clinton, he said that you can borrow from what other competitions did, and you can be able to turn that into your project, but you can be able to make some improvements to make it your project unique, right? So you can be able to improve on projects that have already existed. And then there was that question on, was it stakeholders or on the stakeholders that I think there are a few companies, there's this startup accelerator programs that are there. I think Hult Prize has partnered with some of these organizations. So you can be able to receive guidance on some of these areas in business. So like setting up your company, how to pitch and things like that. They'll be able to guide you on that. If it's funding that you need, you can apply for funding and you get investors. But that will be done through Hult Prize, so you don't have to worry about that. But first you have to qualify to the regionals, then you can be able to go to the next stage. And the thing is, Hult Prize is widely recognized. If you've heard of the Nobel Peace Prize, right? This is basically the Nobel Peace Prize for innovations, if I could put it that way. So if you emerge as a winner in any of the stages of the competition, just know you are globally marketable. So don't think that when you don't pass a certain stage, maybe things are not going to go forward with you. You have to keep on working on your projects, and that's why we have we register through IZET. I'll register all the innovations so that if any innovation event that comes up, like the one for Hult Prize, you're already prepared in advance. You know what to do. If it's a product that you're building, you build it in advance. If there's resources that you need, you tell us so that we can talk to the university to give us those resources. And I'm glad Samuel is here. Samuel maybe can talk about some of the things that we're doing at the Research and Innovation Club and some of the requests that we have made, because we are still waiting on getting a 3D printer in the school. But if we don't get it in the school, we'll probably outsource from one of the school's partners. That's Gearbox. So maybe let me try to see if I can unmute someone. Is he still around? Yeah, he's still around. We give Samuel opportunity to unmute. Samuel, now you can unmute and probably talk about some of the things we do at Research and Innovation and how it can be able to assist in this competition.
Okay, so am I audible?
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry, there's a lot of noise in the background.
It's all right. Maybe we can tackle a few more questions. Are there any
Okay.
other questions? Oh, that's okay.
So okay. So thank you so much, Isaac. Basically, IZTAP, we do carry out of innovations, and yesterday we had an IP session, and we got to saw a lot of innovations. Basically, not geared towards tech, but also was aligned with the different talents that are there within the school institutions. And there are many innovations that I can say that can able to, if they're geared towards the SDG goals, they can be registered under Hult Prize. And basically, the innovations that we do carry out, um, first and foremost, we can see that for me, my innovations also in line with SDG goals about environment sustainability, and SDG 6, 7, 11, and 15 about clean cities and also climate change. So if we register these innovations, um, they can find a chance, or they can play a very key part in the Hult Prize, and they can even emerge even the regionals in the competitions itself. So I can't say much, but there's a lot that is taking place in the IZ Hub, which I cannot paraphrase in a simple terms. But we also have Huawei competition that is taking place, where our members have registered in different tracks. Like, we have cloud track, we have networking track, we have cloud computing, and also cybersecurity. So these are different tracks that members have registered in the competitions, and they are starting to do the examination on November. And we also have one innovation track. Yeah, thank you so much. And those are my key remarks for today.
All right. Thank you, Samuel, for that input. I can there's a question here on registration fees. No, Hult Prize is completely free. There are no registration fees involved. Maybe Timothy, you can touch on that. But from what I know, Hult Prize is open. This is not like some of the competitions that we have. There's one called the Kenya Innovation Week, where you have to pay a certain amount of money so that you can go and present. But Hult Prize is not like that. Once you qualify through a certain stage, the regionals, and you go through the summits, they'll be able to cater for all those transport fees. And yeah, but I think Timothy, you can can probably shed more light on that.
Well, in Hult Prize, no, there is no registration or participation fee for the Hult Prize competition. The Hult Prize Foundation covers all of the costs associated with the competition, including travel, accommodation, and food for the competing teams. That's from regionals. After winning from regionals, the on-campus programs, they are being sponsored by, we are supposed to look for sponsors and partners who will be sponsoring and helping us in carrying out the activities in the campus. I think being the reason it's called a competition, you see, when we are competing, we have to have the environment that is not being, that is disturbing us from getting finances to help us in order to take part in the competition. No, Hart Prize is not, you don't need any registration fee. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, I have shared the IZ form on the chat. you can be able to access that. And then there's a form for pre-registration at Hult Prize. Make sure you get a team first, and a team that you can rely on to be there with you when you're working on these projects. You don't want a situation where start looking for your members where they are. So you better try to sort out your teams as early as now, figure out who's doing what and what project you're going to work on. So I've just shared the pre-registration link for the Hult Prize. So you can go through it and see some of the requirements that are there. And then if you're interested in the Hult Prize as well, we have taking part in some of the competitions that we'll be having. There's a WhatsApp group that I'm going to share. Let me try to see if I can share the link. Oh, Timothy, can you share it from your end?
Or the
You
link
have the
to
link. Yes, so that they can be able to access all the communication that we'll be doing. And also we'll be doing some of that communication through email. So if you had registered to this event earlier, you'll be able to receive an email from us with more details about the event. And then, yeah, we can take it up from there. So this is an open competition. So don't feel restricted with anything. And if you have any questions, you can always ask us, or you can drop by IZ Hub in our Ruiru campus for those who reside in other of our sister campuses across the country. You can be able to reach out to us through there, and feel free to show up there, because ISET was created for us students to innovate and build projects. But right now that space is being occupied by interns. So we need to get that space back. The thing is that place has good internet, has good resources. I mean, if you have a project that you're working on, the resources are there, so don't worry about incurring any costs. If there's something that you need that the university can provide, they can do that. So unless there's any other question or remarks, maybe Timothy, you can add on something if there's anything.
yeah, please, you can as well tell your friends who are ready to take part in the competition. You can also check the website of Hult Prize. You get to know what Hult Prize is all about. Just advise your friends to take part in the competition if they have ideas. Yeah, we need to get a good team and a big team that will be participating in the competition. You see, other universities, I think they have their the team that are going to compete ready. Yeah. Every university, I don't think whether they need one. We can get more than one group who are ready to compete. Yeah. As
Yeah,
Isaac said, the idea should not give you limit. There is no unique idea. You can just take the idea that is there, you advance it, you make it as you want. You see, you cannot come up with something new, but you can add on something that is there already. Yeah, thank you.
so yeah, that's
Isaac, I cannot access the group link.
okay. Okay, because it will be good if we have that, because that's where a majority of the communication will be made regarding some of the events that we'll be having. Of course, there's that bulk SMS for the campus, but by the time we set that up and everything, should have our WhatsApp group that you are updated with the opportunities that are there. But if you register here with your email or phone number in the IZET registration form, we can be able to note down the ideas that are there, and we call you. In the event, if something comes up, we call you and you come to present. And one more thing, like Timothy had said, other universities already have teams and they are prepared. It's true, they do have teams who are already prepared. And we don't want a situation where we are waiting when these competitions are coming in. That's when we are preparing to present or build our projects. We do that in advance so that, you know, we're almost nearing the end of the semester, right? There are exams that needs to be done. So you have your project, and if you don't prepare early, you might find yourself overwhelmed. When you're called to present, you're overwhelmed, you don't know what to do. So we need to prepare a bit early. We'll have some workshops and sessions like the one that we had yesterday on intellectual property. We'll have one on how to pitch your projects and ideas. And after that workshop, we'll have a few members who will present. We need to start as early as possible so that we can avoid last minute preparation.
Between now and February 29th, the on-campus program we should be done with the on-campus programs. You see, from 29th February, March, going forward, we are preparing for regionals. Yeah. So the university Zetech, we are supposed to come up with those people who are ready and have good ideas and ready to compete from now up to February 29th. Let's strive and work on that, please.
Keep in mind there's $1 million at stake. Free money. $1 million, my friend.
And we are being
Don't
given
get that.
a free
Not even
trip
get
from
that
here
in your
to
lifetime.
and you are being given a free trip from Kenya to other countries. So you should be working on your passport also.
Yeah, it's true. You should be working on your passport just in case.
And visa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are things that we'll do later.
Yeah, but for now, actually, we should work knowing that we are going to win. You see, when we work while doubting, actually, we'll at the end of the day get what we want. Yeah,
that's true.
Anybody who is who has something to add on, maybe can add.
All right, then I think we'll come to a close. And in case you have any more questions or you'd like to reach out to us, feel free. And yeah, keep innovating, start working on your projects now. Don't wait until we convene next. Make sure you have at least something to show in the next meeting that we'll be having. And in the next meeting, we'll be inviting the director of innovations here at Zetech and probably even the dean here
and
as
we
well.
can
So
we also can organize the online meetings with the other outside country members who are taking part in the competition. They get to tell us how they have gone, how which strategies they are using. Yeah, we'll be sharing with them and get to know. That's how we'll be creating our networks. Because I'm aware of the guy from Rwanda who has networks, and you see he's a director, but he's working with NGOs. Yeah, he has advices for youths. He has something to tell us. I organized one day the meeting with him online.
Should do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Just
it. Unless there's more questions or contributions, it will call that a day, and have a good week ahead.
yeah, thank you also for participating and taking part in the meeting and accepting our call to join the meeting. Please, you can also tell your friends to be part of you and be ready to join us. Hult Prize, IZ Hub, IZ, and other clubs in the university. Thank you very much.
Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good week. Bye.